Hey there, my Tyler Perry Zatima fans. It's your girl Barbie J here, and we are back with season 1, episode 7, Trouble at Home. And we know there was some trouble at home up in this episode. So it starts off, with Fatima seeing that pic of Zach and Deja and getting pissed about it, saying that she's glad that she kept her apartment. And I'm like, so am I, girl. So am I. And she packing a bag to stay with Angela. And I got to say that damn Angela, she talks too damn much, if you ask me, about Fatima and Zach's business to Bryce. They talk too much. And what made Bryce think it was a good idea to talk about this with Zach right next to him in the car? Duh. Talking about he knocked out. No, knocked out drunks hear every motherfucking thing. Don't y'all know that? Oh, and then he tells Zach everything that was not meant for him to know. And he and Angela are not the best at keeping their mouths shut, if you ask me. So now Bryce is driving fast because Zach is like, why we got to drive slow? And he starts driving fast because Zach got to piss. So they get there just in time to see Fatima leaving. And they get into a verbal altercation, spewing profanity at each other, while Angela and Bryce just watch on instead of getting a drunk ass Zach back into his house, whom, was supposed he had to piss so bad. Why he out there got time to be cursing at his woman and being nasty? So Bryce, I thought, should have just got him into the house. And I gotta also say that one thing, it seems that, I don't know if y'all noticed that the cast and Zatima, they all have these wonderful freaking houses. What we've seen so far between Zach, Belinda, and what's her name, Angela, I'm sitting there going, they must live in the suburbs, whereas the cast from Sisters live in the city because they all in apartments, condos and co-ops and things like that. Anyway, and they all small. So anyway, now they get to Angela's house, and she reminds Fatima that even though Zach didn't do anything this time because she saw his glitter on his pants, she said he may have if Bryce had not gone to get him. And Fatima's like, that's true. And I was saying that's true too. So she decides to sleep on it. Fatima decides to sleep on it and think about her relationship. And as Angela says, she's sorry this is happening to her. Why she keep saying that to her? I'm sorry this is happening to you. I'm sorry. Stop it. Anyway, Bryce is with Zach, who's still drinking. Then Bryce finally gets him upstairs to his bedroom. Honey, this was too much for me. Honey, this was too much for me. Zach starts babbling about women and how he and Bryce should be married and some other craziness. And Bryce is like, oh man, you really drunk. Ha ha ha. Then Bryce asked him when was the last time he drank that much. And I said, why would you ask a question like that? That just seemed like a weird question. And then Zach remembers out of his drunkenness when Karen started dating that preacher dude and stuff. So I'm noticing how Bryce is now looking at Zach when he took off his top. Which, if you all remember, they didn't even know where Zach's top was when Bryce left the party with him. So how did Zach get his shirt back on? That was kind of weird. Not even that. I think he had on an undershirt too. He took off that sweater. He had on like 2 shirts, it looked like. And they couldn't find out one of them when Bryce left with him. Anyway, when I saw him looking at it, my little spidey senses was tingling, y'all. I was like, what is going on here? And then the way Bryce was touching Zach's body and leaning up against it, it had me raising not 1, not 2, but my hands too. 2 eyebrows and 2 arms was raised up like, what? And Bryce was looking and then asked if Zach needed him to go into the bathroom with him. And I was like, oh, okay, y'all. Here we go now. Something just ain't right, honey. Because when Zach, I don't know why he took off them damn underwears. He took them underwears down and Bryce saw what he was working with. It was on and popping. Woo. Then, Bryce gets back to Angela's and she thanks him for going to get Zach. He's a good friend and all that. And then she notices that Bryce is super hard. And he says, yeah, baby, because you standing there looking all sexy. That's why. But we all know better, don't we all? We all know better. Because then she goes down on him, talking about she don't want to make a lot of noise. Didn't want Fatima to hear them. But we know he's sitting there thinking about Zach attack. Ooh, honey. The next morning, Bryce brings Zach keys back and he gives Zach a folder that was at the door and it had a signed lease from Deja in it. And Zach realizes this is not a good thing right now. And he admits Fatima is going to be pissed. And Zach thanks Bryce for his help last night, saying he helped save his relationship. So Zach calls Fatima and leaves a message that he loves her to please call. Then he calls Valerie and asks can he get out of that damn agreement with Deja, and she told him that she can possibly, that he might not be able to because Deja could probably sue him for discrimination. And he's like, for what? She said, because you saw her dancing last night and you gave her the keys, so Valerie kept asking him, was there a problem? And Jack was like, you know what? I'll take care of it. No, you won't. You screwed, buddy. So then Fatima tells Angela that she has called the movers and is getting her things out of storage. I said, I hear you, girl. Then Angela shares that she noticed about Bryce last night after coming home and being hard as a rock, which she said he's never been before. But Fatima said she heard them. It sounded like he was talking Japanese. And Angela said, that's right. I had him calling for his mama in his native tongue. I said, girl, you better go ahead. Go ahead. You do it to him. And then Angela thinks it's the girls that Bryce saw at that party, and that he was hard about that and was thinking about them while being with her. So, Fatima kind of brushed it off like it's not a big deal. Then Belinda just walks into Angela's house, talking ish about Fatima. And Fatima stepped to her and told her to keep my name and my man's name out your mother effing mouth, or they gonna have a problem. And she said, we already got a problem because you let that mother effing nigga come between us. No, you did, girl. You did. She didn't do it. You did. I don't like when people come up with stuff and they can't take ownership of the stuff they did and screwed up. You know what I mean? So anyway, Belinda comes at Fatima saying she must be right about Zach because she stayed the night at Angela's. And Fatima's like, did you tell her that? And Angela's like, no, I didn't. And Fatima's like, let me go before I hurt this biatch. And Belinda asks, are we ever going to talk about what happened? And Fatima looks at her and says, bye, Angela. And she bounces. Angela looks at Belinda and says, what's wrong with you? And asks her, why did she send that picture? And she said, because she needed to know that Zach was trifling. And Angela told her, that didn't help at all, heifer. Anyway, then we got Zach's big brother Jeremiah. Oh Lord, this guy's a trip. Shows up at his house and tells him that their mama told him Zach bought a house and she gave him the address and added that he came by last night and saw his lady, but she wouldn't let him in. Zach's like, what? And then he seems to think Zach is selling drugs, y'all, again, and he's holding out on him and wants Zach to cut him in. And Zach told him what he do, real estate and investing in the stocks, but he don't believe him. So he tell him, I'm not doing anything illegal anymore. But Jeremiah doesn't believe him and asks Zach, his brother, what does he want? Zach asked his brother, what do you want? Or what is it you need? And Jeremiah's still fussing, saying he did 10 years in prison and Zach only did 3. You his big damn brother. You supposed to be setting an example, not putting him down on mess and getting him locked up. And so he tells Zach he's behind in his bills, and then telling Zach he's supposed to look out for his family here. And here you are spending your money on that chick you have up in there. And then Zach went off on him. He said, who the F you think you talking to? I've been broke for the last 3 years and none of y'all niggas called me, nor did mama. Then Zach wrote his brother a check for 10 grand. And he said, is this what mama sent you here for? Is this for you? And then he just started walking all through Zach's house. I said, see, these people don't respect Zach, his friends, his brother. It's like, Zach, you ain't gonna never grow with these mother creeping fools in your life. I'm sorry. So then Fatima gets a call. She's in her car. She gets a call from Ian's mama, Miss Margaret. And she said Ian gave her Fatima's number. And I'm saying, Fatima, why the freak did you give Ian your damn number? What, because he got cancer? That's not a good answer or good reason to just give him your number. That make no sense. You got a man, girl. So Miss Margaret thanks Fatima for agreeing to be there for Ian and herself through all of this. I said, say what? Fatima, did she agree to that? I don't think she totally agreed to that, but she didn't want to say nothing to hurt this woman's feelings. I'm sure that's what it was. So then she asked Fatima if she could come by for dinner. Excuse me. It would mean the world to me. I said, why would you ask that knowing that Fatima's in a relationship, Miss Morgan? Come on. You know that ain't right. That's real tacky on your part. So she ends with saying, you know, she loves Fatima and she's always been a sweet girl. And Fatima says, so have you. And then the last thing happened, Fatima gets to the house. She pulls up and sees Deja telling all the movers what to do. And she moving in and Deja's saying, hey, neighbor. And comes over there and holds out her hand and introduces herself. I'm Deja. And Fatima looked at her like, bitch, I know who you are now. And she was, oh, honey. This gonna be good, honey. Oh, child, it's gonna be good. Anyway, that's my recap and my little 2 cents about it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, take a moment and do that as well. You know, help my channel grow. We gonna try to reach that 2,000 mark, and I can only do it with you guys. Anyway, this your girl Barbie J saying peace.